What is climate change? Climate change refers to long-term shifts in temperatures and weather patterns. Since the 1800s, human activities have been the main driver of climate change, primarily due to burning of fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas that accumulate greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, also called GHG emissions. These changes lead to an increasing number and magnitude of extreme climate events such as hurricanes, droughts, or extreme heats, and chronic risks such as rising sea levels or the melting of permafrost. They can also directly or indirectly impact the economy, create poverty, human migrations, and accelerate the loss of biodiversity. How do we address that problem? Since the Paris Agreement was adopted during COP21, a world target for anthropogenic GHG emissions mitigation has been set to keep the world global temperature far below a 2 degrees Celsius increase compared to pre-industrial times. But first and foremost, we must be able to quantify GHG emissions at the company level and assess whether or not a company contributes to reaching the Paris Agreement. This is where Iceberg Data Lab's climate indicators come to play. The Wonderpuss model. Starting with sectoral financial data, our model enables us to quantify a flow of goods or services and associate them with environmental pressures. When it comes to GHG emissions, we can use our model to compute the GHG emissions at the commodity level and then aggregate these emissions at the company level for every activity and every scope. Of course, the model can also be enriched with reported commodities, or GHG, disclosed directly by the company. Iceberg Data Lab's 2-degree alignment metric was created to further assess whether a company is aligned with the Paris Agreement to complement the GHG footprint. The methodology of this metric is divided into 4 steps. First, we measure the performance of the company. Its activities are divided into several main services given to society, each of which displays its own carbon intensity. The past performances are incorporated as well as the forecasted performances, which are computed using historical trends and future targets aimed by the company. Second, for each main service, we assign a reference trajectory that defines the carbon intensity decarbonization pathway the company needs to follow to be aligned with a 2-degree scenario. Third, we compare the carbon budget spent by the company's performance with the reference trajectory and integrate all carbon intensities between 2010 and 2050. A lower carbon budget for the company's performance means that it is aligned with the Paris Agreements, while a higher carbon budget means it is not. Fourth and last, the overshooting or undershooting of the carbon budget is converted into a temperature. Now, let's illustrate our methodology with the example of a vehicle manufacturer. For this sector, the carbon intensity corresponds to the GHG emissions divided by the number of passengers transported and the number of kilometers traveled. As previously mentioned, we collect the past carbon intensities of the company and project them into the future by using historical trends and targeted performances. Then we add the reference decarbonization trajectory designed for the specific sector and compare it to the company's performance. As we can see here, the company is not performing as well as a sectoral decarbonization benchmark. Therefore, it is not in line with the 2-degree Paris Agreements. The overall temperature we measure for this company equals to 3.2 degrees Celsius. Thanks to Iceberg Data Lab's 2-degree alignment metric and GHG indicator, financial institutions are able to have a precise measurement of their investments' impact on climate. We gave them the necessary tools to make their investments more sustainable.